Fam. How about y'all come on in and let's have us another visit here on the Humble Show. I am Grant Fletcher, and I am being joined by my co-hosts Moonbeam Hallows and Brandon Cox, and a friend of mine from way back, Adam, I'm not going to put your last name on blast because I didn't ask you ahead of time if I could do that or not. But he is on loan.
He didn't ask none of us.
I didn't ask y'all either. I just did it, though. Y'all signed up for the show full time, though. Adam is on loan from the Gameware Express podcast, very long-running Gameware Express podcast. Adam, how long has the Gameware Express podcast been a thing?
We're coming up on 11 years this October.
Long time.
Heck yeah.
Long time.
Over 300 episodes so far.
Were people listening to podcasts 11 years ago? I guess they were.
It was just on the forefront. People would look at me weird when I said I do a podcast. They're like, "Are you crazy? Is that like a weblog?"
Right.
They still use weblog,
11 years ago, they were listening to them on actual iPods.
Right?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's awesome. And y'all even, in the convention world, there's a little bit of crossover because there were some conventions you went to that, unfortunately don't exist anymore.
Yeah, we've done.
You would get invites.
Yeah, we've done live panels at past conventions like MechaCon, RIP, FIFOCon. We were just at WasabiCon in New Orleans. So there's always a little bit of crossover between the anime and pop culture nerddom and video games, of course.
You know John.
John, I know a lot of Johns.
I know John.
The Mecha John.
Ooh, I don't know Mecha John, but I probably have friends who know him.
Wasabi John.
Yeah, that's true. So I think I heard about this. The WasabiCon people. There's someone on the MechaCon team that's on WasabiCon or something like that.
I don't think he's doing it anymore, but
okay.
I know there's some affiliation, or maybe I'm making that up.
Maybe
I'm making it up. I don't know anybody named John.
Here on this podcast, we just make things up and roll with it.
It's true.
That's right. Don't edit this out.
That's true. If you say everything, then eventually something you say will be correct.
It's true.
And then everyone would be like, "Wow, they're geniuses."
There was a John involved, and so I could still. Yes, I don't know crap about video games. I was like, maybe he knows a John.
Maybe he knows John.
I got this idea. I don't know anything about video games, but I'm gonna say, "Oh, hey, Steven," because you do know Steven. Steve, because he's on your show. So that's a good. Yeah, did y'all know that Adam has a co-host named Steve Martin?
It's true.
Yeah. Does he play the hell out of the banjo?
He gets that question so much. He loves it every time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's long running. It's very cool. It's very dope. Y'all spend. We were talking about this a little bit earlier today. Y'all spend a good bit of time on every episode there on the Gameware Express as well. So you have a real good deep discussions every week, and you talk about new because there's always like some cool news or something like that coming out. So a lot of good flavors to sample on the Gameware Express is what I'm trying to say.
What he's trying to say is he's jealous because his co-hosts don't know shit about shit.
I know things. I know various things.
It's not what I was gonna say, but your words, not mine.
Jealous because I'm an expert. I'm an expert on coffee.
Yeah.
Brandon's an expert on most music.
True.
But this ain't a music nor a coffee podcast.
Although we do have song recommendations that we hand out every single episode that we should probably go ahead and get to if we're going to do that. Speaking of which, Brandon, I know you got something on deck for us, one or two. What you thinking?
So I woke up this morning with the song "Inside of Love" by Nada Surf in my head.
Cool.
I think it was like playing in a dream. And then it was, in real life in my head. It comes from an era of like indie rock that was full on sellout, like Float On by Modest Mouse, but it was pretty much there. Like it's such a kind of like a mommy and daddy song, like very safe, very predictable, but it's good. It's real good. Because I usually have two songs. The second song I got is American Terrorist by RXK Nephew. It is a 9-minute song, and he just goes off the entire time. Some of this, I'm gonna read from the lyrics. Some of this might need to be bleeped, but
all right.
I know that we pay an editor for that.
We pay a lot of money to an editor. Yeah.
Fifth grade, smarter than my parents. Grandma couldn't help me with algebra. Grandma like, what the fuck is algebra? She like, that's a shame. Then people gonna keep making up shit trying to keep you in the same grade. And that's our RXK nephew, American Terrorist. He just like, it's literally like lines like that, and what I said was probably like 7 or 8 seconds for 9 minutes. It is insane, and I love it. Like, and it, some of it's ridiculous like that, but then some of it's kind of insightful. Like, oh, yeah, like he just said like 5 insane things, but wait a second, let me think about that.
Yeah, if you sift through it, you have to sift through it like a sieve and try and figure out like what's the one normal thing he said. You know, it's a puzzle. You got to decode the puzzle. You know.
But then, like, most of it is agreeable. Like, you know, seriously. I mean, like, I use algebra a whole lot, but I feel like most people are like, why does algebra exist?
I don't. Yeah.
Why they put letters with numbers.
Moonbeam, do you have a song for us?
Yeah, I'm just going to go right off of Brandon's little suggestion, which has absolutely nothing to do with mine. I was going to say something completely different, but when he started spouting those lyrics, it put me in mind of King Missile. So I would like to suggest that everybody go out and listen to The Boy Made Out of Bone China by King Missile.
One of the last times that we did a music recommendation, the last episode, I had just listened to Cake because my friend Macy showed it to me. Macy just she was like, "Hey, have you heard a little song called Detachable Penis?" I'm like, "Yeah, King Whistle. Yeah."
I have heard that one.
Yeah, we like King Missile around. I like the Martin Scorsese song. He makes the best films. Anyway, that's my recommendation. Go check out King Missile and The Boy Made Out of Bone China.
Very cool.
What you got, Grant?
I like that one. I have one. Adam, do you want to go next, or you want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
I can pick one song, but I have more of an album recommendation.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
I'm a big Childish Gambino fan.
Yes.
And he just dropped a new album called Bando Stone in the New World. And it's really fun. It's kind of an amalgamation of all of his genres. It's got a little bit of hip hop, it's got a little bit of soul, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of like pop rock from 2009, surprisingly. Yoshinoi is one of my favorite songs on that album, as well as Can You Feel Me, which is right after that, which features his 6-year-old son, which is really neat.
You're gonna be angry. Like, what's this album that he had come out of a few years ago? Awaken My Love.
Yeah, My Love.
I got a copy of that LP unopened, completely sealed, and I bought it years ago, and I've yet to listen to it. But I need to. I'm going to eventually, as will I listen to my dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of LPs that I've yet to listen to.
Well, he did that Livonia music video. That was a fever dream. Have y'all seen this? Have y'all heard of this?
No.
I haven't watched the Lithonia one. I saw the Littlefoot Bigfoot one from his other more recent album, Alta Vista.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen Lithonia.
Let me explain the music video to you.
Okay.
Before I do my song recommendation.
Yeah.
He's in a dark house, and he's playing with a band. And there's a small crowd of people, and they're all sitting on the floor at the band's feet. And he looks all calm and cool, and the band is just like sweating profusely throughout the whole thing. And the video is only half the song, because he keeps making eye contact with this redheaded woman sitting on the floor. And halfway through the song, he hits a note, and he sustains a note. And as he's sustaining the note, his eyeballs explode and blood pours down his face.
Yeah.
And then the next shot is him chasing that redheaded woman through the woods. And that's the music video. It's half of the song. And that's it. Yeah.
My God.
And I was like, what just happened? So I'm like, I'm looking around on message boards, I'm reading articles, I'm going to Reddit, and everyone's like, yeah, we have no idea. No one knows what the point of that was or whatever. It might be linked to, I think he's doing a movie or something like that related to this or whatever. But yeah, it is. It's very jarring to say the least.
He's a weird dude, but he's a like genius. Oh, can I curse? I'm sorry.
I'll cut it out. It's fine. It's fine.
He's a genius in a lot of the stuff he makes. So
the magic of technology.
I've been watching him, I think paying attention to them since the Derek comedy days.
Yes. I mean, it definitely got my attention.
He's funny.
My recommendation is going to be, I was just talking to someone last night about a guy by the name of Peter Steele.
From Typo Negative?
Yes, singer of Typo Negative. So because I was having that conversation, I'm just going to go ahead and recommend the song Black Number 1 by Typo Negative.
You guys ever see that guy's doink?
I have not, but there is legend surrounding it, is there not?
Yeah, well, there's not even like a legend. It's just like, it's really funny.
You can see, because he did like Playgirl or something like that.
He posed in Playgirl, thinking
Do they have ding dongs like on display in Playgirl? I thought it was just
I think they can if you request it. I think they do if you're Peter Steele and you're like, you know what, I just want to hang dong.
Yeah, no, he's not hanging dong, he's pointing dong. And let me tell you, he got real angry. I don't know. Yeah, I think he did get pretty angry because he thought that it was like nothing but hot girls buying that, and that's not the case.
Yeah, no, her hot girls are too busy. Let me stop.
Yeah, and I want to say that he also had reason that, well, maybe this will open us up to a new audience, and I don't think it did that for him either. So, you know, but yeah, tragic tale, man. That guy destroyed his body with substances, and didn't turn out so great for him. But
those pictures were taken before that, though.
Yes, yeah. We must iterate that was before that all happened. But he was very forthcoming with the fact that if you do what I do, things aren't going to turn out so well for you.
Where did you find this picture of his ding dong, Brandon?
The internet.
for
Look
science.
it up one day. You're like,
Peter Steele, Playgirl. Look that up. And
it's like a well-known thing about him.
Is it? Yeah. I knew we'd learn something on this podcast, so we got something for everybody.
Well, it's an educational show for the kids.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. It's good. It's good. And also because we want to educate the crowd and have good discussions.
Yeah. We
do have a topic of discussion for today that I want to talk about because Adam's on the show and we wanted to bring it in and do something that we could all talk about. Because Moonbeam, you're not we've covered this before. What was the last video game you think you played? Like the most recent game you think you've played?
I don't know. Maybe Super Mario Land.
Okay. Solid game. Solid game. Well, what I really want to get into today is the video game soundtrack. Right. And, I can say this for a fact because I think what a lot of people, at least my age and maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger, would hold up as like the gold standard for a video game soundtrack would be like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Those would be like the main ones.
Yeah,
if you're not familiar, those games really did introduce a lot of. What's that?
He talks about it all the time.
Greg talks about it all the time. He should. I mean, it's great music. Great music. I mean, you're talking about your Bad Religion's on there. Millencolin, No Cigar. What's that, Brandon?
Unsane.
Yeah, Unsane. I mean, there's a lot of good songs in there. A lot of kids were introduced to punk music in general, skate punk and whatnot, through those soundtracks. But there are a lot of games with a lot of really good soundtracks, and I thought that maybe we could kind of touch on some of those here today. Adam, you said you were going to think of some. Did you have any that came to mind for you?
Yeah, I have three. One I'd say for each era, like more recent, more retro, and then like something in between. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where you'd like to start.
We can start wherever you want to do it. If you let's go through time, I guess. Let's go retro up to now. Because there's a lot of great games with original soundtracks that are just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone is familiar with some of the old classics. Your Mario tune, your Zelda, right?
Yeah,
sure.
But I was a Sega kid growing up, And Sonic the Hedgehog was one of my favorite
Oh,
franchises.
solid.
And Sonic 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, which has a banger soundtrack. But I've got to give this one for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah.
It already had great music, but it actually came out a couple years ago. Sega confirmed that Michael Jackson did secretly work on a lot of those tracks. And it came out because they released a new like Sonic the Hedgehog bundle on more recent consoles. And I think it was a rights issue. They had to change some of the music in Sonic 3 because of this rights issue, I think, with Michael Jackson working on those tracks.
Yeah,
And,
because
like,
the licensing expires
yeah,
or it doesn't extend to like remakes or bundles or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the time. So I mean, you think about music in a game, and maybe sometimes it's not on top of mind, but when you play a game for so long as a kid, and all those Sonic levels are like ingrained in my brain, and you go change that music, it's like I couldn't even keep
It's a
playing it.
crime.
Yeah, it really is. It takes it all away, and it just kind of shows like how much I feel like a soundtrack is important in anything, right? Movies, games, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, that whole like 90s era music were just like straight bops, right? Like that 90s chip tune, that attitude era of just like hi-fi synthwave music. It's so good. It's so fun.
Without a doubt.
I still listen to it as I work.
What level in Sonic 3 do you think had the best song?
Oh man, Hydro City Zone, which is the second one, is very good.
Mm-hmm.
It starts out really high energy. I also got to give it to Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2. I play that level so much, and that song is I don't know, this like weird like robotic kind of industrial sound. But then when Sonic Generations came out and they did like the more modern remix to that song, also great.
Yeah. I mean, really, I think like the Green Hill Zone music, I think is synonymous with the Sonic brand in general.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, really, a franchise that not a lot of people bring up the soundtrack enough when they're talking about it, but a lot of great work out there. Brandon, did anything stick out to you, or did anything come to mind when you were thinking about music and games?
So I know that it's already been mentioned, but those Tony Hawk games, I don't think it can be overstated how influential it was to so many people. Like, especially like, I don't know, like anybody who was strictly raised on like FM radio, maybe like a little bit more sanitized, because I feel like in the South, like FM radio was a lot more sanitized than it should have been. But it introduced me to a lot of sounds. I mean, like I think what a lot of people remember from those games are like a lot of like the punk rock, the ska punk, and like the melodic hardcore. And a lot of it was just like in retrospect. Like I would get into these bands and realize like, oh, wait a second, they had a song on the soundtrack years ago.
Yeah,
there was one band. Nebula. I think that they were like peppered in on like 2 or 3 of the soundtracks, and Nebula is a really, really solid act. I think I heard a lot of like really great acts through those soundtracks. But as far as like OSTs go, like original soundtracks, and I really should have prepared more for this. There are just so many that like I'll hear today and like they just send chills down my spine. Like I think a gimme, especially for people our age, is Ocarina of Time. I distinctly remember being like 7 or 8 years old and like getting an ocarina online from some like I think it was called a Songbird Ocarina, and I played the hell out of that thing whenever I was a kid. I do want to ask our guest Adam here. Adam, have you ever heard Crazy Bus?
I've heard of Crazy Taxi.
So not Crazy Taxi. So
are you talking about Crazy Bus, or are you talking about Desert Bus?
I've brought up Desert Bus a handful of times.
Okay.
There's no music in that game.
Right.
Crazy Bus.
Okay.
No.
I don't even know if it's a real game. It's because like I incline all of our listeners, but especially Adam, to Google Crazy Bus on
Okay.
YouTube after this and listen to the absolute insane friggin' cacophony that is Crazy Bus. It sounds like someone took an algorithm and like made it produce the most just discordant, like unharmonic, just nastiest note and chord combinations, and it sounds like an affront to sound itself. It is it's nasty. I listened to a lot of ear piercing horrific music, a lot of drone and noise and harsh noise and all that. Crazy Bus really takes the cake for being the most unlistenable garbage ever.
This says, an unlicensed 2004 Venezuelan bus driving game for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that sounds
How
right.
did that even happen in 2004? That can't be right.
Oh, people are still
2004, we were,
making,
halfway
Yeah, it
through
says
PS2.
Genesis.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that?
People are still making new games for like the Genesis and the Dreamcast and the Game Boy Color and all that. Like people are still to this day like producing carts.
Well, I
And
guess
so
you
like
can,
not only
yeah.
are they making ROMs, but like they're making like physical carts that you can play in the hardware itself.
That would be an interesting topic to explore one day. I think that'd be very cool to talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Well, another one as well, Brandon, that we could mention as far as a video game soundtrack goes, in the vein of just having a good collection of a lot of different artists. There was a Dave Mirra BMX game, Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX for the
Yeah.
PlayStation 1. That had had Rancid on it, and Social Distortion, Deftones, Pennywise, Swingin' Utters were on it as well.
That's a good combination of
yeah,
artists.
really good combination one there too. Now, of course, if we're talking about originals, we would have to mention Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2.
Classics.
Because those actually do have really great soundtracks as well as far as original music goes, and of course the DK rap. You can't really not bring it up and not talk about the DK rap's place in music. And actually, the Super Mario Brothers movie, they played it for like a little bit. You got a little tiny bit of it, and I was glad that you got a little bit of it.
Yeah.
So that was just fantastic. Now, Moonbeam, I know you don't know a ton about gaming and video games.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This topic would have been great if Lola May was on just to like take my spot. But
So we
Greg
swap
said
her out.
he's got something. But
Greg will come in.
Yeah,
Greg, what are you thinking? He's got something.
Oh, he's got something. But Lola May picks when she works, because she works for me. Lola May's my daughter, Adam. She's 15. But when she works for me, we play her playlist, and most of it is video game music. Like it's either from Minecraft or what's that game with those little cute little animals that play and they like fish and
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing does have a fun playlist.
Yeah. So,
At the same time, I think that you need to give your daughter a noogie.
Yeah. But Greg's got I would put the thing on it.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. No, listen, we'll listen to Greg from your perspective.
But he can be the voice.
Adam, Greg is the main.
He's the guy,
owner, the main promoter. He's the guy of Humbl Enterprises, and
he's the John,
he's the patron
of Humbl Enterprises.
Yeah,
John of Humbl Enterprises.
The patron saint of Humbl Enterprises.
No, he's the John.
The John.
If you're talking compositions of licensed tracks, you also can't go wrong with like Grand Theft Auto, either Vice City
I was
if
gonna bring
80s
that
are
up,
your
yeah.
thing, or San Andreas if 90s are your thing, because that's
as a guy who really, I think all of us kind of grew up with a local station. It was like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and now.
Yeah.
Like there were a whole lot of tracks on the Vice City soundtrack that were like obligatory 80s hits that were just never played on like those BS.
About the Flock of Seagulls song.
Flock of Seagulls. A lot of there's just a handful of tracks on there that like I had never heard prior to that.
I don't have I didn't play I didn't play games like myself, but Greg and I kept our niece and nephews one day over at their house, and they had to be like 5 or 6, 7, but they were playing a car game, but it was like my niece just kept singing like skeet skeet. What was it? How did that?
That
From
was,
the window to the wall.
They were playing. They were
Need for
playing Need for
Speed.
Speed Underground.
That was Need for Speed
Need
Underground.
for Speed of yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
I was like, I don't think you need to be singing that. And
Yeah,
my little niece, so perfect angelic niece, is skeet skeet.
I like how Brendan and Adam were able to crack the code based on the one song you could quote from this game. It had cars and it had skeet skeet, and that was the game.
yeah. Look.
Get Low by Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, featuring
Yeah,
the Game Plans.
I think it's been said before, but Get Low is our generation's Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yes, the anthem of 2003.
There
And
we go.
everyone who was in middle school at that time,
Yeah.
I
or
like
high
that.
school.
Yeah, no, moving just to go a little more into detail, because the Grand Theft Auto Vice City, it's kind of like a Miami Vice sort of type of, thing. So it had songs on it like Madhouse by Anthrax and
Yeah, I mean, I've been around Greg
the best
play stuff.
Grand Theft Auto when Chuck D is the voice.
yeah,
Did you-
yeah, Chuck D. Yes, that's true. He is in there as
That was the best.
what was the name of the
I don't know, but he talked about
Was it
aliens.
Yaslo?
No, Laszlo was a different guy. I'm looking it up right now.
He kept
Can you-
talking about aliens and the government and all kinds of funny stuff.
Yes.
No, my choices. I mean, some of the stuff you said is, I don't think any soundtrack was more influential than Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto is good. I mean, you can name off any of the sports games because they always have music. But
Yeah.
For me, like just iconic music. Don't shoot at me.
Hey, Greg.
Too late. We already saw you.
Just real quick.
Iconic music. I mean, of course, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the soundtracks for Silent Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are good.
I love all of those. I think they're amazing. Saints Row 2 had a really good soundtrack,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I didn't think I would be as affected as I was by Minecraft.
That's
You know what?
really good.
Yeah, I've never played Minecraft, but I have heard people say like, "Oh, yeah, I do love the music of Minecraft." I've heard it come up.
I played a lot of Minecraft during the beta days, and yeah, I would want to like listen to other music because all right, this is a game where that doesn't really require a soundtrack, so I'm gonna play something else during it. But then you would listen to the soundtrack, and it's just so wistful and childlike. It's a very gripping soundtrack.
I used to turn on Echo the Dolphin just to listen to the music.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's a good Genesis
Ooh.
game.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
thought that was Dreamcast.
What's
Well,
that? Oh, yeah. Dreamcast. It was on the Genesis as well.
On the Gamecast.
What do I?
My all-time probably like song. Yeah, I don't even know if it had a soundtrack, but the pause music for GoldenEye.
Yeah, the entire GoldenEye soundtrack was really good.
Well, did it have Tina Turner on it?
No, it was all instrumental.
Didn't have, yeah, it was just
Well, what's also funny, this kind of makes me think of it too, is there was a Sega Genesis game called Eternal Champions,
yeah.
and Bone Thugs and Harmony actually sampled that game. There's a point in time where it's like it's like a character bio section of the game or something like that.
Yeah.
And Bone Thugs and Harmony sampled Eternal Champions.
Oh, I dig that.
What was the name of the song? I don't know. I'm trying to think of it, what it was now. But anyway, back in the mid 90s, they were doing that. So
yeah.
I always thought that was pretty cool.
There is there's a Memphis rap tape that came out in like 95, I think it was, by a dude named Lil Heavy. I think he was like 14 years old, and he had this ruthless Memphis rap tape. But like all the beats sound like GoldenEye 007 for the N64 like 2 years prior to it being released. It's really entertaining, I think, that because that tape is really good, and this kid don't need to be rapping like that, but he is. And like, yeah, the beats sound like they were sampled from GoldenEye 2 years before it was released.
That's rad. Well, a lot of it had to do with just the technology and equipment that was available back then. You listen to guys like Manny Fresh talk about, I could make 8 sounds with this machine I had. And that was it. I had 8 sounds to make all these songs with, and you couldn't layer them or else it would clip and it would sound weird. So you had to get real creative with how you used everything.
Yeah.
But genius. Guy's a genius. I digress. But Humbl Fam, I do want to know, what's your favorite video game soundtrack? I want to know about like the original music on a soundtrack that you love, and I also want to know about licensed music. Songs by bands that you might have heard on the radio, or you might have had their album that were on a video game, or maybe even an artist that you discovered from a video game, right? As well, like who was that artist you found in a video game, and what game had the best soundtrack?
I hope that like all the people that comment like show us up, because like I know that we skipped a lot of like the absolute timeless ones. Like I know that a lot of like Squaresoft games back in the day, like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Oh, Chrono Trigger, yeah, with very good music.
Like a lot of those like timeless RPGs had insanely good soundtracks, and we just skipped them all because you know what? We're punk rock as hell.
If we are, but the thing about that is we would have to be this would be a 4-hour episode if we actually did that. And all of like 2 of the members of the Humbl Fam out there would actually be okay with us having a 4-hour episode. The rest of them would turn it off before we hit 60 minutes.
The only soundtrack that matters is, and say it with me, everybody, Crazy Bus.
I'm looking it up. As soon as we get done, I'm looking up the Crazy Bus soundtrack.
God bless Venezuela.
I have one more modern. I can't not mention, if we're talking soundtracks and original music. It came out last year. Some would say it was the best game of 2023. The Alan Wake 2 soundtrack is killer. And if you're not familiar with Alan Wake or Alan Wake 2 or Remedy games, Alan Wake is a horror novelist. He's a writer.
Yeah, he's a boy. Yeah.
And he gets trapped in one of his own stories. But in Alan Wake 2, the way the soundtrack is used in the game, it's this awesome like Viking metal rock. And the way it's incorporated in the game like really helps like push the story forward. Yeah. And it's all on Spotify, and you can go listen to it. The band's called the Old Gods of Asgard. And they have like a 15-minute rock opera ballad called The Herald of Darkness. So if you want another song recommendation, pull that up on Spotify.
They need to remove just the from that, and it's just Herald of Darkness. It's the guy that delivers your mail late. It's Harold, and he's in the darkness.
Adam, I've never played the Alan Wake games. Given that he's a writer that gets trapped in his own story, by the time you get to the second game, is there a point where he stops and asks himself, how does this keep happening to me?
Here we go again. I'm back up to my old tricks.
It's like, Metal Gear, right? It's like his job to go into these crazy situations. That's why. But like when you're getting pulled into your own
that's actually the plot of Alan Wake 2, because they're trying to figure that out.
They're just trying to figure out how it keeps happening.
How it keeps happening, yeah. Okay. Actually, you jest, but that's the
whole point of the game.
Yeah,
you got to figure it out.
Heck yeah.
I do have a little bit of trivia to wrap it up with. I don't have video game trivia. I feel like that would have been really unfair to Moonbeam and also everybody that's not named Adam on this episode.
Reigning champs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I did play a video game trivia night, and you did go in there and clean up as expected. So I think you went to a sudden death overtime too. I believe that might have happened. So
we did. We came out ahead on that one.
Nice. Yeah, it was a very tough, very hairy situation, but you got out okay. You're good. No, so the thing is, a while back we talked about the new Crow movie that's coming out, and it would have just dropped by the time this is coming out, and how none of us are looking forward to it. But I've got some taglines here. Now, taglines are little lines that you'll see on a movie poster to promote a movie, or that you'll hear in a trailer sometimes, or whatever. All of these are taglines that came from a remake. Since that's a remake, we're going to do what's kind of a remake? I don't know. Who knows? I haven't read the comic, so I don't know if it's
who knows?
more in the comic or what. You know what? I don't intend to find out. How about that, everybody?
The rules has changed.
I'm just gonna go rent the new one for like $4 on Amazon. But I mean the original for $4 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Wait till it's on Tubi.
That's true. I could just watch it on Tubi. There we go. But so I have some taglines here. There's nothing really that is tying these movies together other than they are remakes. I'll give you the tagline. Someone just yell out the answer here, and the first person to yell out the answer will get a point as we go along. The first one is Hollywood's A-list stars come together to pull off the most daring heist Las Vegas has ever known.
Ocean's 12.
I heard Adam say it first. It is Ocean's 11. Yeah. The first one in that series. All right, here's another one. When the undead rise, civilization will fall.
Dawn of the Dead.
Correct, Dawn of the
Zack
Dead.
Snyder.
That's correct.
Hey.
Go for.
Nice. Twice the fun, double the trouble.
Big Mama's house.
That is the Parent Trap. Very nice. Good job. Good job, Adam. 3 for Adam. You know,
Wait,
I recently showed that movie. Showed that movie to my daughter.
These are remakes.
They're remakes. Yes, they're remakes.
So Lindsay Lohan.
Yes, I showed that movie to my daughter recently. Did you know that movie is over 2 hours long?
Yeah,
Good
because
God.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
So you talking about the original or you talking about the remake?
The remake.
The original seemed longer than that.
It dragged.
My
dragged.
God.
How many twin antics can they get into?
I mean, it is a little too long, even in the remake, to be honest. It does kind of drag a little bit here. How about this one? Beyond fear, destiny awaits. Now, I realize that could be anything. Thing about taglines is sometimes they're either right on the nose or they're like really too obscure. Like sometimes it's like, get ready for the James Bond.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, beyond fear, destiny awaits.
Oh man, Beyond Fear. They didn't remake Apocalypse Now, did they?
They did not.
Yeah. Or Event Horizon? No.
It sounds so Event Horizon. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like something along those lines. It's not.
Is it the new Alien movie?
Oh no, but that would be good. I would call that more of a sequel, I
really
guess, than a remake.
It's The Thing.
Nope, it's not The Thing. All right, y'all have all had a good guess. That is the tagline for Dune. Yeah, that was
Okay.
from a couple years ago. All right, here's another one for you. How about this? Be prepared.
The Lion King.
That is the Lion King. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Leave it to Adam to also get the Disney one as well. He knows Disney. He knows video games. Okay, how about this? Plastic is forever.
Plastic is. Oh, okay.
Barbie.
Nope.
Barbie.
I know. I'll give y'all a chance.
Greg says Mean Girls. You're not playing.
Point for Greg. It is Mean Girls. Yeah.
It is Mean Girls. Yeah.
Okay,
He's not
let's
playing,
Moonbeam.
always
I want to know. Let's see if you get this one, Moonbeam.
I'll give it to you.
Did she show you the horses?
The Ring.
Yes, that is the Ring. That is the
Okay.
Ring. Tell you what,
Okay,
team.
so these are remakes. Yeah, they're remakes,
yeah.
but it could be a remake of like.
Correct, of a foreign language version of the movie. Yeah. How about this? Augustus is what he eats.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
No, that is Octopussy. I'm kidding. That is Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Yes, point for Brendan.
Wizard of Oz.
Baby.
I was thinking Willy Wonka. It just came out Wizard of Oz.
Hey, look.
If you don't know what my joke meant, ask your parents, y'all. Anyway, moving right along. Number 9.
Sweet sashimi.
The sands will rise, the heavens will part, the power will be unleashed.
Dune.
It's not Dune.
Part
I love
2.
That you thought I would go back to Dune. Dune 2. Dune it again.
Dune it again.
Yeah.
Did they remake the Ten Commandments?
Greg is saying The Mummy, but you're not playing.
It is the Mummy. It is the Mummy. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so weird. It's such a departure from, the original one, the Boris Karloff version, that people don't think of the Mummy as being a remake, but it's a universal monster.
Seriously? Was it supposed to be a remake of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
Because it's a Universal movie. So that's who that's supposed to be.
Not the Tom Cruise one. Okay, I forgot. That's yeah. All right.
Yeah, and the Tom Cruise one, yeah, it's a remake of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
people don't think about it in that context, but that is what it is. And then number 10, there comes a time to cut loose.
Footloose.
Footloose.
That is Footloose, yes.
I swear, I knew it. Yeah.
Y'all all said at the same time. I'm gonna give that all to you. So I'm gonna say Adam wins this one with 5 points. Moonbeam, though, you and
Yay.
Greg racked up what 4? Given that on the last one, and then Brandon had 2.
Yay.
Since I gave y'all all the tie. So nicely done, Adam. Do you want to take a victory lap or take a bow off of
how about you? How about you plug your pluggables?
Yeah. Actually, tell us all about the GameWare Express.
yeah,
podcast.
GameWare Express is a weekly video game podcast. New episodes every Tuesday where we discuss new and old video games. GameWare is a store in the Mall of Louisiana and on College Drive where you can buy video games. And we chat about what we've been playing, news in the industry, new releases, old games we like, listener emails. And it's myself and 2 to 4 other people every week. We also have special spin-off episodes like spoiler casts for, say, Deadpool and Wolverine. Plug, check that out. And other than that, you can follow me on social media at Adam Arender.
And hey, are you gonna discuss a little game next episode? Little game called Crazy Bus.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Crazy Bus. That'll be
check out Crazy Bus.
Your Humble GameWare Express crossover.
Yeah, you do. There is a segment where y'all talk about what you've been playing lately on every episode. So Crazy Bus might make an appearance on GameWare Express. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because GameWare is a real place.
Yeah,
it is a store, like you said, a physical store. It's in the Mall of Louisiana. Is the original, right? I guess technically, I don't know if you can call it the original anymore because it's moved a couple times. But
yeah, we're
but it has been in the mall for a long time, and then now there is another location, like you said, on College Drive, not too far from the campus of LSU.
Before we go,
I would suggest.
Just real quick, hey Adam.
Yes.
How's mall culture these days?
Oh man, it's weird. It's either like super dead or there are so many people there, and
yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like there are signs everywhere that say like it's like shopping online, but IRL.
Gross. I'm never gonna go to a mall again.
Look, were you in the mall like late '90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, coming in early to mid 2000s. Yeah.
Do you remember like mall culture?
Yeah, it's definitely not that. I don't know. And like now, our local mall also like bans children after 7 p.m. or after 6 p.m. or something on weekends. So yeah, I don't know.
Bans children weekends?
Yeah, there are a lot of kids getting in fights at the mall.
Oh my gosh!
So it's a different mall culture now. Yeah. It's not about like just being a hooligan and like making out behind the Coke machine. It's like showing up and getting in fights over vans or something. I don't know.
I feel like they should take advantage of this culture and minors get charged a cover fee after 7 p.m.
Hey man,
there you go.
As many stores are closing in the mall, I'm sure they could use the extra coin.
Yeah,
Club mall, right? You know, you have a hardcore show in there. Act like it's a Denny's.
Yeah,
have a hardcore show.
Do it.
Why not?
There was a really
bring
good
back the culture.
I saw a really good live set from a band called Show Me the Body. It looked like a Claire's that closed. It was really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've definitely went back in those days. I definitely went to some all ages shows that were in some very weird, just questionable places.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I get it. I understand that's why it is. But yeah, y'all definitely should check out the GameWare Express locations if you can, because they do have a lot of really cool stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm planning on maybe possibly stepping into the one on College Drive this weekend, as a matter of fact, with my daughter.
Is that in Baton Rouge?
That's in Baton Rouge,
Louisiana.
You can listen to our podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Play, wherever you get your local podcasts.
Yeah.
Check us out.
Do it to it. Well, Adam, thanks a lot for coming on. Humbl3 Fam, don't forget, let us know your favorite video game soundtrack out there, maybe an artist you discovered from a video game as well. Listen, y'all, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give us a comment if you would be so kind, because we will be back here next week for another little visit here on The Humbl Show. But until then, stay humble.